let El Chapo get out of his penitentiary to go see about his knee? No.
Jay-Z is sharing a new statement after the civil case accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of a teenager was dismissed.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and drug use.
They are going to be watching basically for hours on end in front of you.
He claims he's being targeted because he's a black man, insisting the charge is racially motivated. Newly leaked audio allegedly featuring Diddy speaking with Jay-Z and his son has surfaced, revealing shocking statements. How did Diddy know he would end up in the hospital? And what connection does he have to Jay-Z's case being dismissed?
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside?
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
He's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, pup. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control. You won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail, and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just...
Weeks ago, Diddy told his son he had one last trick up his sleeve to get out of jail. Then, on February 2nd, he was taken out of jail for an MRI at a Brooklyn hospital in the middle of the night. Just a week later, the case against Jay-Z was dismissed. What exactly did Diddy do at the hospital, and who did he speak with that led to Jay-Z's case being dropped?
They let El Chapo get out of his penitentiary to go see about his knee? No, he had to dig an underground tunnel and leave on a motorcycle to get out of there. So why is Diddy getting raced out in the cover of darkness, we keep hearing? Why does he get the cover of darkness? Why does he get taken out because he needs an aspirin? Help me, Dr. Hendricks.
Well, I'll tell you, each inmate gets a physical within 14 days of their arrival at any facility. And I'm sure, based on reports of him having several knee surgeries throughout the years after being a marathoner back in 2003. So this may have been in the works in terms of getting him out for an MRI, because I know that they don't have that equipment at the institution. And I'll just tell you this, they probably had set this appointment up months, maybe weeks ago, and they set it up for the evening.
To leave at 1 a.m. in the cover of darkness? Okay, you think that's what they set up, Hendricks? Look, I know you're being loyal to MDC, but can we get real? Leaving MDC because your knee hurts? Have you seen that POC?
Jay-Z is sharing a new statement after the civil case accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of a teenager was dismissed. The woman who filed the lawsuit back in October accusing Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Combs of raping her after an awards show in 2000 when she was 13 years old. Both Carter and Combs have denied any wrongdoing. According to a new court filing, the case was dismissed yesterday after the accuser's withdrawal. In a new statement shared through Rock Nation, Jay-Z wrote that the claim hurt his family and loved ones, writing, quote, "I would not wish this experience on anyone," adding, "The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. This civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere."
Esty listened to what Diddy told his son. He knew he was getting out.
Prison phone call just leaked and it was posted by Social Details. This is allegedly a call that he had, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of code words in there, so we're going to listen to it together. Check it out.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm going to need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over.
Now, this alleged leak call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leak call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm gonna make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like you talked about.
Now, in this alleged phone call, he starts talking about someone named Jay. People are speculating that maybe Jay-Z, but there's no confirmation. At the same time, he talks about recycling plastic. I don't know what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, comment and let me know.
Everybody out there quiet as more. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
I mean, it seems by the call that he's looking for help. He's saying that a lot of people are quiet, I guess people that are on his side, and that he's gonna have the last laugh at the end.
Man, just do what I told you to do, and don't forget about the list.
And then he goes on to say, don't forget about the list. And we don't know what that list is or what that implies, but this is pretty crazy. Do I think this is legitimate? There is no confirmation yet if this is legitimate or not, but this is the alleged leak call.
Did Diddy pressure the victim to drop the case against Jay-Z and himself? If so, who authorized his release? How does someone as dangerous as Diddy get to leave in the middle of the night, especially when prosecutors know he's trying to contact witnesses? His call records confirm he's been reaching out to victims and making threats. So, who's protecting him?
Details this morning in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been trying to reach out to victims and possible witnesses. And ABC's Phil Lipoff is here now with this story. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Gio. Diddy's lawyers trying for a third time to get him out on bail, but this time, the prosecution telling the judge about attempts they say the rap mogul made from behind bars to influence everyone from potential jury to alleged victims. This morning, prosecutors leveling new accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, saying he poses a serious risk of danger even from behind bars as he awaits trial. In a court filing late Friday, prosecutors detailing the steps they say Combs is taking while locked up to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion to affect potential jurors.
The accusations within the prosecution's motion to deny bail are very serious and will be considered very heavily by the judge, because the judge is going to want to ensure that he is not influencing witnesses and or contacting anyone to influence a trial in any way.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, and sex trafficking. He denies any wrongdoing. The government now asking a judge not to grant Combs' third request for bail, in which the music mogul offers a $50 million bail package citing new evidence and changed circumstances.
This was an open and shut case. Jay-Z's lawyers were caught on tape bribing witnesses to lie, posing as fake FBI agents, and even flashing fake badges. This is a federal crime, and there's recorded evidence. Yet, the case against Jay-Z was still dismissed. Who's pulling the strings? And does Diddy's connection to the New York mayor have anything to do with it?
A Texas man is claiming Jay-Z's lawyers are bribing people to sue Busby and his law firm. This 13-page lawsuit was filed on January 3rd in Harris County, Texas, and the plaintiff in the filing is being represented by none other than Busby's law firm, who filed the suit on his behalf. Now, Jose Maldonado, who is the plaintiff in this suit, is suing Jay-Z's attorneys and his company, Rock Nation, but not Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z himself. According to the lawsuit, the defendants in this suit are Marcy Bryant Croft, her law firm MJ Legal, Rock Nation, and the law firm who is representing Jay-Z, Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan. They allege the defendants conspired to obstruct justice by engaging in shadowy operatives to illegally get more than 24 current and former clients of Busby law firm to turn around and sue them. The suit claims Rock Nation is financing this alleged effort, while attorneys Marcy Croft and the law firm Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating this whole thing. According to the suit, the defendants' agents were pretending to work for the state of Texas and allegedly flashed fake badges.
If he was a part of that, how did he get the key to the city? That's crazy to me. If he was in incidents and everything around the city that wasn't favorable, how you get key to the city? So now you got to realize, if they had the mayor under investigation since 2014, Diddy was in investigation around 2011, 9 or 11, something like that. They say either 9 or 11. One of those people are responsible for the feds looking out after one, or either Diddy responsible, his interaction with the mayor, or the mayor interaction with Diddy may have caused the feds to be looking at both of them in some form or fashion. I don't know which one was first. Was it Diddy interaction with the mayor, or the mayor interaction with Diddy? Which one did the Fed have under surveillance first? And I think it was probably Diddy.
Diddy recently lost a $100 million case just as Mayor Adams was indicted. How is it that these two, allegedly close friends, are both facing legal trouble at the same time? Is this really just a coincidence? Mayor Adams was aware of the investigation against Diddy, yet he still handed him the key to the city. Was this a strategic move to whitewash Diddy's reputation?
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
New at 5, the legal troubles continue for Sean Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who says that he was sexually assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs drugged and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court. On Monday, the judge ordered him to pay $10 million each month starting in October. The victim is currently behind bars serving a 75-year prison sentence for criminal sexual conduct and kidnapping.
A new NBC News documentary has surfaced, featuring testimonies from those closest to Diddy. His personal assistant, longtime friends, and employees have all come forward, claiming they witnessed him engage in sexual assault. Philip Pines, who served as Diddy's senior executive assistant from 2019 to 2021, alleges that Diddy forced him to prove his loyalty by coercing him into sexual acts. In one disturbing incident, Diddy allegedly grabbed Pines by the shoulders, gave him a massage, and then pushed him toward a woman on a couch with a condom, instructing him to sleep with her.
What happened at these lavish, drug-fueled nights called Wild King Nights? So this 32-page lawsuit, which was reviewed by multiple outlets, including Rolling Stone, was apparently filed in Los Angeles by a man named Philip Pines, who says he worked for Diddy from 2019 to 2021. So actually more recent than some other suits we've seen against Sean Combs that have been in the early 2000s or even the 90s. But according to reporting in the suit, Pines is alleging a few different things here. Now, before we even get into it, and there is a lot to get into, you might be wondering, what the heck does that name mean? What are we talking about when we said Wild King Nights? Well, part of this lawsuit alleges that Pines had to prove his loyalty to Sean Combs, who was dubbed the King, by performing sex acts for him, hence the name Wild King Nights. The suit even reportedly says that Pines was treated, quote, like an animal playing fetch in order to prove his loyalty.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and drug use. Eva Pilgrim is here with the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. At this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King Nights.
This morning, new details allegedly inside Diddy's world before his shocking arrest. The entertainment mogul now behind bars for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
It was a circus. He did whatever he wanted, and we were just at his disposal.
Phil Pines was Diddy's senior executive assistant from 2019 to 2021. He says his then boss asked him to purchase supplies for parties dubbed Wild King Nights.
We usually had a laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, malt. Those requests started to become more frequent.
Pines claims many of these parties involved younger women.
A lot of times you have him with a younger female, and there's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand that.
After Pine's statements went public, Diddy announced he was suing NBC for $100 million over the documentary. He's desperate to keep the truth from coming out and is allegedly trying to silence the victims. This could also explain why 50 Cent's documentary has been delayed for so long. Someone doesn't want the full story to be exposed.
Sean Diddy Combs sues NBC for $100 million over its Peacock documentary about him. According to docs obtained by E! News February 12th, the Bad Boy Records founder filed a lawsuit against NBC Universal seeking $100 million after Peacock, the streaming service owned by the media company, released the documentary Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. In the filing, Combs, who is currently in jail on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, accuses NBC Universal of defamation and alleged that the company maliciously and recklessly broadcast the documentary, which included claims that the rapper committed crimes like serial murder and sexual assault of minors without having a shred of evidence. The filing reads, in making and broadcasting these falsehoods, among others, defendants seek only to capitalize on the public's appetite for scandal without any regard for the truth and at the expense of Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial.
The most interesting part of all this is that no matter what Diddy does, his freak-off tapes will be played in court for everyone to see. Prosecutors have confirmed that the tapes submitted as evidence during discovery will be shown to the jury. Some of these recordings have already been presented before a grand jury in a separate case. Courtney Burgess, a close friend of Kim Porter, was the one who handed these tapes over to the FBI.
Trial starts and the jury sits. Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during the...
100% in court in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porno played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this.
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't the civil case, this is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate, and they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against it. Keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime, so it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't care, get your ass on.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend, Desiree Smith, just made a shocking revelation on the art of dialogue. She dropped major bombshells about Diddy, claiming she knows victims he allegedly raped. One victim was reportedly assaulted as payback for accidentally walking in on Diddy. According to Desiree, Diddy drugged her and then assaulted her while his guards stood by and watched.
I know a lot of people that know him. I met one of his old security guards, and I've been new to tea about him. Weird shit. Liking strap-ons. I met this girl one time that did a photo shoot for him. It's a nice young lady from Canada. And me and her ended up going on vacation together, and a few months later, and she told me something that she saw go down at his house in the Hamptons. And then a few months later, she told me that she went hanging out with like his bodyguard and his entourage, and somebody drugged her and she doesn't know what happened. So none of this is alarming. And then she went back to Canada. So So.
And how long ago was this? Was this
Oh.
in the 90s?
This was in the 2000s, maybe like around 2004, 2006, somewhere around there. He's been doing shit.
All I seen was people fucking each other, kissing each other, getting sucked, getting ate. I seen all that. That's typical though. So I don't understand how freak offs can be a crime when everybody just gonna be fucking on each other anyway. A bunch of rich people snorting coke and fucking on each other and drunk. If that's a freak off, then I like to go back to it. I like to go back to a freak off. I like fucking celebrity business, and that's the fun thing about the freak offs. In my time when I was there, it was like celebrities was fucking each other, like all the movie stars and all the actresses was fucking like it was nothing. They was on that powder heavy, but they was fucking. Hey, how you doing? Was down with you? Oh yeah. That's how I was. So I liked the freak offs. So I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but it was fun to me when I was young and I was there. It was fun to me. I was a kid in the candy store, looking at all these actresses that you grow up watching. You heard me, and these sucking dick and doing powder and all types of wild